Okay, welcome back. And this video is going to be about the engine mount for the NexStar and the two possible engines that I recommend. I have my favorite, the slow and steady Evolution, and the little bit faster OS2. Both are 46 size. This uses a 3-blade prop, and that's why it's slower. This uses a 2-blade prop. If you put a 2-blade prop on this one, it's just as fast as this one. But so I'm going to show you how to mount both of them because they are a little bit different. So let me get out my engine mounts and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and we have the two engines here, the OS engine and the Evolution engine. The OS engine has this needle valve in the front. It isn't a good place to put it. It makes sure when you're adjusting this, your hands aren't anywhere near the needle valve because it's slanted back. I mean, when your hands want to adjust the needle valve, you're nowhere near the prop because it's slanted back. Here the needle valve is in the back and straight out, and there's a fuel tube between the needle valve and the carburetor. So the advantage from a mounting perspective is that the two holes on either side of this are completely available to you, because what happens is when you go to mount the engine with the anti-rotation device, you put this little sleeve on, and then you have this little white plastic piece that goes on top of that, and then your screws go down through the holes to mount the engine, and then that's it. And they've designed it in such a way that the screw hole here, you can get a fine or a small screwdriver through there to hold the top while you screw the bottom. Other side's not a problem because there's nothing on the other side. So it's easily possible with a small screwdriver to get between the needle valve and the nipple here where the fuel tubing goes, and you can screw it on, which is just great for the OS. With the Evolution engine, when you try the same thing, I'll put this on and then put this on. And the hole for where you screw it in is blocked by the needle valve. So at least the makers of the airplane that give you these mounting accessories allow you to have an alternative approach. So the alternative approach for the Evolution engine is to use this bar. You put the bar across like that, and what you have to do is put this bar on the engine mount. In other words, you're going to, for the left side of the engine where the needle valve is, you're going to put this bar on with the screw already in its tight position, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how I'll do that later, and Loctite that down so that you slip the engine in and then slide this over and then clamp the front with the front screw. So that's the difference between the two. Now the way I'm going to do this is to I'm going to demonstrate how to put this on, and then demonstrate how to put this on. And the reason for doing that is to have both engines, so you understand how to mount either engine. The end result is going to be, this is the engine that's going to go on first. Then I'm going to take that engine off and put that engine on to fly both of them on the same airplane. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I'm back, and I have the bar attached to the left side of the engine mount. I've got the bolt lock washer, the flat washer, and the bar, and on the other side obviously I've got the screw. And the width of this thing here that it's going to hold is 5.5 millimeters. So I'm going to measure this, and I'm at 5 millimeters here. Okay, and that allows for the lock washer to lock down. If you don't have a measuring tool like this, don't worry about it, because what you do is a trial and error where you slip the engine onto the engine mount just like that, hold it, and then you got the engine on the engine mount. You hold this down until you can see that lock washer lock up, and that this bar is flat across, and then you drop the other nut through the front. So I'm going to do that. So it's set. I'm going to center the engine between the two holes that I'm mounting through. So I'm going to take the bolt, I'm going to take a lock washer, I'm going to take a flat washer, and I'm going to drop it through the front side. Okay. And I'm going to take a nut and start the nut on the back side. Okay, and I'm going to hold it. I'm going to make sure that if I squeeze this down real hard, that's going to hold it in place. So I'm squeezing down. It's going to be all right. I can get to lock that down. Now you can't put the engine on until the engine mount is on the firewall. I'm going to take all this back off. Okay. And slide this back out. So what you're going to do is you're going to mount this to the firewall. After you've found out where this is, what I recommend is go ahead and put Loctite on this nut here so it doesn't move on you while you're mounting the engine. So Loctite that down, and then mount this to the firewall. Then slide the engine on underneath this, and then lock it down with the other 3 bolts. So that's the procedure for mounting the Evolution engine with the mount that came with the airplane. Now there's lots of other options, including using a completely different mount, but this is going to work well. Okay, so let me get reset, and I'll show you how to mount the OS engine.